There is further confusion in war-torn Syria as government-opposed forces are reported to have moved 12 nuns from the convent in the village of Maaloula, north of Damascus, to Marthila, a Greek Orthodox monastery in the nearby rebel-controlled village of Yabrud. Vatican envoy Mario Zinari confirmed that they were moved during the recent fighting in Maaloula, but could not offer a determination as to whether or not they were kidnapped or evacuated for their safety. Pelagia Sayaf, Mother Superior of the Maaloula convent, checked in saying the nuns, as well as the other women being held, are fine and safe. Syrian state television, operated by President Bashar al-Assad's administration, reported demonstrations by Christians in Damascus, characterizing them as protests of the capture of the Maaloula nuns, as well as kidnapping of 2 bishops near Aleppo in April. However, the rebels claim to have moved the sisters for their own protection, saying that Assad himself placed them at risk by engaging in indiscriminate military action in the area. The recent clashes in Maaloula are the latest in a 3-year-long war between the Assad regime and the Islamic-identifying anti-government forces. Assad's military and the rebel forces are fighting for control of the highway running north and south between Damascus and Homs. In the balance lies control of the country, as well as the establishment of safe passage for the remains of Assad's dismantled chemical weapons program, slated to be shipped out of Syria and destroyed at year's end. Ethnic Chechens living in Israel, with generous help from the government and people of Chechnya, have built a mosque in the Israeli Arab village of Abu Ghosh. Named for a Chechen president assassinated in 2004, Ahmed Kadyrov, the mosque is second in Israel only to the Al-Aqsa Mosque in size. It can accommodate up to 3,500 worshippers, replacing a facility capable of holding only 150 people, and serves the village's 6,500 faithful. Located approximately 6 miles outside of Jerusalem, Abu Ghosh has seen reflections of the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian issues, even now finding itself locked in conflict with the neighboring Jewish settlement for control of a nearby century-old British fort. Chechen influence in the area is purported to date back to the days of the Ottoman Empire, but the village has maintained a fairly tolerant sectarian environment after having cooperated with the Jewish government to acquire independence from British political control back in the 1940s. This spirit of cooperation perseveres in Abu Ghosh despite the Israeli military's repurposing of much of the village's farmland in years since. Local villagers provided some of the funding for the Ahmad Kadyrov Mosque, but 60% of the construction budget was provided by European Chechens, who offered assistance on the condition that the mosque be built with the 4 minarets customary of Eastern European mosques instead of the 1 or 2 spires common in Israel. The Kadyrov Mosque boasts metal and woodworking donated by the Turkish artisans, as well as more contemporary Israeli building feature, a ventilated bomb shelter. At the time this news story was written, the United Nations was considering a humanitarian measure deciding whether to send troops to the Central African Republic. Independent reports are starting to warn that ongoing religious violence in the country has worsened and may descend into genocide. France submitted the UN measure at the same time as its president, Francois Hollande, is convening a summit on Franco-African relations. Holland has been calling for action amidst growing sectarian conflict in the Central African Republic since last September. President Michael Jotodia of the CAR denies that conditions in his country are approaching genocide and refers to the Seleka, who supported Jotodia in his overthrow of the Central African Republic's previous regime in March, as an armed faction which he is trying to control. The Islamic-identifying Seleka, currently backed by political power in the country, has cited retribution against Christian-identified state militias for crimes committed against Muslims by previous political administrations as their motivation. The sectarian retributions have been escalating. France has already deployed 1,000 troops to the Central African Republic to assist their standing 400 in providing protection and humanitarian aid to the country. Of the CAR's 4.6 million citizens, 1/4 of the population needs immediate food assistance, and 500,000 people have been left homeless in the chaos. The Seleka are retreating from the urban areas in response to increased European military presence, but the French warn that they may regroup once away from the cities, requiring an expanded operational response. The Infidel would like to inform our viewers that this story is developing very quickly and is subject to updates.